Hello, everyone. Wanted to talk today again about the way the book was actually structured. I'm to start with that because we did leave off discussing the overview of the book A Million Stars to Self Empowerment and the fact that it is worldwide, sold on Amazon. Um, A Million Stars to Self Empowerment has been laid out as a inspirational and self motivational book. For one to say that I have a million stars within me, and each star could be uh, used for a particular aspect of my own choosing is very important. As far as the structure of the book, it really does speak initially about the author, and I'm going to get into that in a little bit. It also does speak on various habits which are connected to certain experiences and endeavors which the author had encountered in his life, as well as currently uh, encountering, and being able to utilize again certain key assets or certain key strengths in order to improve and develop. I'm going to read from The Million Stars itself, the very first page, which summarizes the book. An inspirational message originating from personal past and present experiences, thoughts, and ideas aimed to motivate self development. As authentic motivators, the author describes over 10 scenarios, narrations, and examples for multiple walks of life. They are referred to as stars of empowerment. The literature creates a developing mindset, enabling the reader to discover secret stars of self-empowerment from within. And it provides best star experiences from the author's perspective and shares a message with the reader in discovering means of minimizing self-potential. Means of maximizing, rather, self-potential. I'm going to stop right there and talk a little bit about maximizing self potential. When we have various attributes or strengths in which we discover that are within us, and we can identify and pinpoint how to better put them to use, then we can consider that part of maximization, part of broadening the components or uh, uh, the attributes of those particular strengths. We can consider increasing the value of those in which we have within. I'll give you a good example in terms of maybe communication skills. We can always find a better way of relaying to or communicating and coordinating ourselves. And when we find those better means, no matter what it is, then we tend to, again, empower or improve or increase value in that particular skill set, which is communication. Um, Things in which are authentically motivators are, are realistic, as it mentioned in the second paragraph, uh, as authentic motivators. Authentic motivators, again, are situations or ideas, going back to that aspect of the first paragraph, which mentions experiences, thoughts, and ideas. So those can all be authentic motivators, and it does not have to be a positive experience that you had. However, whatever took place in order to change that particular experience or make that thought process from being negative into being positive, then that is the authentic motivator. Okay, and as mentioned, the scenarios and the narrations, the examples from multiple walks of life. When we look in a little while about where I, as the author, and I'm going to keep referring to myself in the third party. I hope you all will pick up on that. Um, so the scenarios and the narrations are authentic. I mean, they are actually based on life experiences, and we'll talk, again about my biography, being what does it mean being from multiple walks of life, in a little while. However, it's really important that we come to terms about experiences that we've had, and when A Million Stars of Self Empowerment is read thoroughly, you will find that all the experiences there were not the best of experiences. However, they were experiences which were real, and experiences which were met uh, with certain traits or certain strengths and certain habits, and that actually helped to improve or empower the situation. Now, what I do realize also is that the point of it being inspirational, uh, and the fact that it did actually originate from uh, certain ideas also. Ideas, I mean, are very common, and as we sit back and just think about all the wonderful ideas that we've had, and some that were not so wonderful at all. However, they are reality for us to have. Now, if we take into consideration the good ideas that we've had and what we actually did with them, how many of those ideas did we actually put to use? Well, um, not very many, as far as I'm concerned. From within myself, I can speak for myself. I can tell you that over the course of 35 or 40 years, I've probably put into action maybe about uh, you know 10 ideas, maybe, which were long-term ideas. And these were ideas which, I may have went, until somewhere into the middle of implementing the idea, then turned my back on it. That's something in which somebody else picked up somewhere along the lines and took it all the way there. So it's really important, as we are, developing ourselves and trying to empower ourselves and modify our abilities to write down the ideas, to make note of the ideas and actually put them into actions by any and all means necessary, because the idea which makes certain circumstances change is the idea that was actually put into action to its fullest potential. And when a person, excuse me, when a person decides on taking on the mentality of doing so, then they are actually stepping into the arena of a million star uh, 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 a million star personnel, or a million star ability, a million star capacity. And in so doing, they're unstoppable. They cannot be intimidated. This idea they're going to go with all the way. An example of this is actually, as one of my very, very long-term mentors said to me about an idea that I had. He said to me, that's like putting the carriage before the horse, you know. And I listened to him and felt that what he was saying did make sense, but that was the amount of knowledge that he had about the situation at the time. When you read The Million Stars to Self-Empowerment, again, you're going to see that the scenarios and the situations, again, as it mentions in the very first uh, paragraph, that it's from personal past and present experiences. And it will elaborate further in saying that, certain experiences and certain scenarios are actually or certain events are still ongoing, and that happens to be one of them. So looking forward to the next volume or so. This was volume one, which we will be talking about extensively. Looking forward to several volumes. I'll describe better the situation in which he mentioned putting the carriage before the horse. But the bottom line is, this idea, I have wrote it down. I have fully sketched it out, and I started implementing it. I started putting into action, and I see no turning back. And I don't want to tell my long-term mentor, like, listen, sir, I'm going to do this whether you like it or not, and that's not the right way to communicate to someone who you have respect with. However, I'm going to go with it all the way, and then once it's all said and done, only two things are going to happen. One is that I will achieve the objective for which I set out for. Okay, that is very much so possible because I'm all motivated about getting it done. Or it does not happen, and the least that I'll be able to say is, I gave it a shot. I gave it a try. I'm not going to be regretful about not putting it into action. So I just wanted to, mention that as far as ideas are concerned. Your ideas are extremely important. They're very valuable. Do not overlook any of them, and you just need one of those ideas to succeed. You don't know which one it actually is, so just keep writing them down. It could be one of them, it could be all of them, but just keep moving forward and pushing forward on that. I'm going to continue reading something from, again, the first page. It goes on to the very second page. The author uncovers the fact that self-empowerment is done through pure peace, passion, and harmony. It becomes a common message from one pure heart to another and raises the question, what is the main star that is waiting to be discovered in each of us? What is the main star that is waiting to be discovered in each of us? Now, I mentioned ideas. How about thoughts? What are some of the thoughts in which could be key factors in making things right? Okay, so we could have been under the under the radar, or we could have been in the hot spot, and instead of us losing our senses and losing our cool, you know which we had in us to do, uh, we decided to calm ourselves down. We decided to take a deep breath, and the thought came to us to just keep ourselves together. Now that was a star thought there. That was a star, a star substitute, or a star supplement that kept us away from that. And it's really, really important that we emphasize peace, passion, and harmony all in one breath. Peace, passion, and harmony. If we're going to achieve success, we need to do it with peace, passion, and harmony. If we're going to become victors, we need to do so, victorious in what it is that we're doing. We need to do so with peace, passion, and harmony. The last thing that we want to do is to do something or to have victory over someone or in a scenario, and then look back and say, you know what, that wasn't a peaceful thing to do, because a person may have been harmed. A person may have lost something there, and it's very patriotic to look at things, believe it or not, that way. Things really have changed over the years. However, here in the United States, we used to really, really, really be passionate about catering to each other, and passionate about aiding one another, instead of disrupting each other's peace and disrupting each other's harmony. Um, a common message from one pure heart to another is also very important. I mean, can we reflect upon the fact that there are there are pure intentions, they are pure senses, they are pure hearts, which communicate with each other, can feel one another. um, it's worth giving it a shot. What is exactly defined, or how can we define a pure heart? How does that work out? A heart which does not want to harm anyone? Is that a heart which happens to want to only do good things and no bad things? Is that a heart that feels guilty or wrong about things that they do? you know how do we define that? And later on in the series, that will also be described and defined. And I'm hoping that everyone has a chance to look within themselves. That's really key. Some of us, we don't like change, and that's going to be discussed in the developing stages about how to get through changes, and what are certain academic academic terms which are used to deal with change. And many of us happen to not have uh, those means from within, and that's something that we definitely need to work on. So again, I want to thank everyone who has uh, the ability to wish well for others, and everyone who has had the opportunity to get the book, and to log on to A Million Stars of Empowerment.com, and everyone who has been supportive with the Facebook and the YouTube and the social media aspect of this effort, A Million Stars to Self Empowerment. And feel free to email me at any time. It's f.muhammad, that's muhammad at hotmail.com, for any questions regarding A Million Stars to Self Empowerment, or if I can be of assistance in any way, shape, or form. I'll be more than happy to do that. And Softo Media Consultants, I want to thank you all very much for your technical assistance with this project all along. And I'll be looking forward to interacting with everyone uh, at any given possible time. Again, thank you, and until the next time that we talk, we will be taking any phone calls. We will also be taking and responding to any emails. I wanted to say once again, I am humbled, and I am extremely thankful that we've had this opportunity of sharing this universal message from one pure heart to another. God bless.